Shema Yasharallah Yahweh Allah Hayanawa Yahweh Achad Shema Yasharallah Yahweh Allah Hayanawa Yahweh Achad Shema Yasharallah Yahweh Allah Hayanawa Yahweh Achad Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahushai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahushai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahushai, Bahashar HaKodash. Hey, I want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. All right? And there's no need to say, I hope you brothers are enjoying your Thanksgiving, but maybe Abba willing, you got a day off. That's all I care about. You know what I mean? Take advantage of that. Take advantage of that. I don't say things, I don't celebrate things. No, take advantage of that day off. All right, it tells you in Daniel 7 that he should wear out the saints of the Most High. So use the world, man. Take that damn day off, or he gives you the day off. Unwind. All right, it's not the Shabbat, so you could go out, get some drink, whatever. Do what you got to do, man. All right, be not righteous over much. All right, we not out here, stoics, or we already in captivity, man. All right, so I just want to say that first and foremost. Look, man, get a plate, whatever. You see, because just take advantage of the day off, man. That's what I hope you brothers and sisters are doing. Hope you are enjoying or unwinding, resting, healing from this damn hustle and bustle, man. All right, we already know Esau the devil. We don't give a fuck about the damn Thanksgiving, man. All right, I just want to say that. But furthermore, all right, because, brother, sister, coming to the truth, you might be relatively new. You might feel convicted, like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. But just take advantage of your free time, all right? And shalom to you brothers, your sisters, your Akim, your Aqua, all right, who are tuning in to this live stream, man. All right. Who are tuning into this live stream. And I also want to make another disclaimer about the title, living life outside the grid, Jacob's trouble. I just want to say before I start the live stream, I don't know how it's going to play out specifically. All right, we do know it tells you in Second Esdras, and if there's enough brothers on the comment board, if a brother could get that scripture, Second Esdras, I think it's 15, be as pilgrims. All right. Also, I think it's Isaiah 10, maybe, where it says that we'll no longer stay on him that smote us, but we'll stay on Yahweh. All right. Also, we have no continuing dwelling city. All right, in Hebrews 13:4, something like that. All right, but long story short, I want to give a disclaimer because I entitled this live stream, Life Outside the Grid, Jacob's Trouble. So I don't know how this thing is going to play out for every brother and every sister. All right, but we can infer through the scriptures that some of us might be technically off the grid, or you might be inside your apartment with no electricity, or, you refuse to take the jab. And you have no power in your house, or your car won't go anywhere. You know what I mean? So, at the water, brother. All right, we're going to kick it off with some foundational scriptures. I got this from the elder brother Kazaki Allah, starting out the live stream with scriptures. And that's very important because this not about me, It's not about me venting. This is an extension of teaching. Just edification. All right. So I want to just go and give that disclaimer that we don't know exactly how it's going to play out for every one of us. We don't know if you might be in your car, sleeping in a car. We don't know if you're going to be stuck in your house. We don't know if you're going to be out in the woods. It's going to play out differently. We don't know if you just going to you're going to get swooped up and be in the camp the whole time. It's going to play out differently, but we can infer through the scriptures that it's going to be, whether it's literally or technically off the grid. Okay. And one thing that has to come to mind right now, because if you already know ahead of time, you already won half the battle. We know that this power grid gonna shut off. We know that We could get squeezed out of the grid by not taking the Kool-Aid, not the Kool-Aid, not taking the you know what. All right, not taking that thing, man. All right, not getting that software program put in us. All right, we know that, you know, the consequences of that is basically you cut off the grid. All right, but I want to do this live stream because it's fun and it's empowering to have some type of knowledge of being outside the grid anyway. It's already empowering it's a lot to just already know how to live off the grid to a certain extent. All right, the scripture tells you in in Sirach about the principal things for the whole use of man. It did not name a vehicle. All right, it did not name shoes or like Jordans or Nikes or whatever. It did not name a smartphone, although that's essential on the grid. It's the principal thing for the whole use of man. Then it went into shelter to cover shame or nakedness. It went into fire, water, oil, bread, wine, iron, milk. These are principal things for the whole use of man. And now we're on this grid, and basically we've exchanged power and independence for convenience. And it tells you also in Sirach how it's better to live in a mean cottage than to dwell in, you know, a fair estate in someone else's house, roughly paraphrasing, okay? But to not know how to make fire, to not know how to set up a TP or a tent, all right, it took power from us. To panic when the lights go out shows you it took power from us, man. And I said this in a video before, maybe earlier this year, may have been last year. But brothers and sisters should consider a generator, preferably a solar generator, because let's say they cut off the power grid, right? And let's say also it's panic, it's chaos. So it'll be probably chaos getting to the gas station, because anytime the power grid is out, the gas price go out. So if you get a generator, all right, I'm not saying don't get a gasoline powered generator, but I would recommend a solar power generator. All right, you can go. I think the best brand or the most reviewed brand is a brand called Jackery. And that's Jackery. I think that's how you spell it. Jackery. Jackery. All right. So they have a range of generators and then there's Black Friday sale too. So it's like 30% off, 40% off, you know. But you could get a 300 watt solar power generator. Without the panel, it'll be like $200. All right, or 200 plus. All right. Now, something that can only power 300 watts, you know, your cell phone, your laptop, your tablet, those are low watt utilities. All right. Maybe even like a mini freezer. That's pretty like low watts. But if you want to power, say, something electrical or something like an appliance, you're going to have to up the wattage. Now, I'm just speaking from window shopping, right? Just comparing things. But it goes from like 300 watts to 1,500 watts. And the ones that's like 1,500 watts, it's close to $1,500. The ones that's 300 watts, I think it's like 200 plus. But nonetheless, you could, with the ones that's lower wattage, you could power appliances like this smartphone I'm holding. You see? Because what I want to recommend on this live stream is that you want to have a way to live outside of electricity. You want to have a way to live outside the grid, meaning if all the lights go off in your apartment, if all the lights go out in your house, even if it's some storm, all right, all right, you don't want to have to borrow this and that from your neighbor. You don't want to have to try to do some quick panic, patchy stuff, you know? knowing it, prudence, it said a prudent man looketh well to his going. One of the four virtues is prudence, because you have the four virtues of wisdom. All right, is temperance, courage, justice, and prudence. So prudence is the ability to foresee something. So once again, and then Harbor Freight, stores like Harbor Freight, Lowe's, they do sell gasoline-powered generators. And I think that's cool if you're mobile. I mean, if you're stable, if you're stationary. It's a lot. That's cool if you're stationary. And the gasoline-powered generators, they actually power your home. So a lot of those, you might get a $500 inverter or a converter generator for like $500, but it has 3,500 watts. So something that's 3,500 watts can power your home as long as you got gasoline. But that's still an asset because it doesn't require you to plug into the power grid. You see? It doesn't require you to plug into the power grid. Maybe you have your mother living with you, or your aunt, or your grandma who's on dialysis, or they need these oxygen machines. You see? You see? They got these oxygen machines. You see? And you got this generator, and then there's a power grid outage. There's a crazy storm that swept through the nation. And you stuck in your house for days with no electricity. Guess what? You got this generator. I'm talking about the gasoline stationary generator. All right? It could keep that oxygen machine on. All right? It could keep the refrigerator running. But I'm talking about that oxygen machine. I'm talking about that dialysis machine. See that 3,500 watt gas generator? That's what you power at the house. So you want to be able to have it. And I'm speaking as a man, all right? Because ultimately we trust in who? Yeah, all right? It's part of being men, you know. Part of this truth is coming back to our manhood, all right? Money is a defense, you see? So if money is a defense for emergencies, what else can be a defense for emergencies? All right, so going back to these generators. So you have a home, you might have a loved one that's sick, disability, and they're surviving off these machines. Then there's a power grid. What if there's a bad ice storm? A terrible ice storm. And so you can't take your loved one to the hospital. You cannot take your loved one to the hospital. You got little ones that's sick. There's a bad ice storm. Ambulance ain't driving on no bad ice. That's why you sisters, and I'm getting on the sisters, I'm encouraging the sisters to have a herbal apothecary. A herbal apothecary. And I should, it's my fault too, because I should make more videos about making certain herbal salves. All right. You should have your kitchen pantry. You should have a division in your pantry. All right. You should have a division in your pantry to where you have herbal salves and tinctures for pain, for the immune system, for infection. You see? It should already be there. One thing I don't want to do is be amongst the crowd when it comes to shit like this, man. And if you have a stationary generator that's high wattage, that's a gasoline inverter generator or converter, whichever one, you can do your research and find out which one's best for you. For that route, then that means you're gonna need an extra can of gasoline, 10 gallons or however many gallons it needs. On the side, have an extra one. You know? You don't want to wait till the last minute to start figuring stuff out. Ultimately, Yahweh Bashim Shai is going to protect us. But as long as you have the means, you should make means for yourself and for your family. All right? 2nd Ezra 16, people hear my word, make you ready for that battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth is one that will lose. 2nd Ezra 6:42. He that occupieth merchandise is he that have no profit by it, and he that buildeth is he that should not dwell therein. He that soweth as if he should not reap, so also he that planteth the vineyard is he that should not gather the grapes. They that marry is they that should not get no children, and they that marry not as the widowers. And therefore they that labor in vain. For strangers shall reap their fruit and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses, and take their children captives. For in captivity and famine should they get children. Because in the time of chaos, in the time of this power grid shortage, people are already looting. Like in Memphis, there's nothing even going on. It's just looting. They already have the National Guard in Memphis. So just imagine when there's a shortage of resources and these spoiled Americans go crazy. So people that have stockpile this, stockpile that, yeah, doors gonna get kicked in, all right? But it doesn't hurt to have a means. It doesn't hurt to have things in your house anyway, all right? Because ultimately your house shall protect us, all right? That little pandemic gave us a little simulation, if I may. It was a little test run. It showed us how things work when there are shortages, and that was light. But going back to the means to create a defense for yourself, you know, Elder Pastor Har was getting into the civil out back. Elder Pastor Har was also getting into hobo stoves, okay? And I wanted to, you know, speak on having a tent, you know, having a tent. And I heard this one bug out expert, if I may call him an expert, he said that in your bug out book bag, you should have enough food and supplies to last you 72 hours. So you should have enough food in your book bag to last 72 hours. The scripture says, be as pilgrims. What does that mean? Because you may say, well, why should you have enough food to last you 3 days straight? If you're going to be in the woods, you might go fishing. Well, you don't know where a lake is. You don't know if you're going to up and catch fish. You might say, well, I could go a day without eating, but can you go a day walking 10 hours, burning calories for 10 hours and not eating? What about day 2? Walk another 10 hours of burning all these calories and not eating. So he was saying you should already have food in your book bag, in your bug out book bag, all right, before you even go off the grid, you know? But emergency or non-emergency, I speak as a man, it's good to have some type of experience with living off the grid, because you can't depend on another man's power structure, especially when we, the Israelites, are the least desired in his power structure. Like, I'm from Mississippi, all right? And in Jackson, Mississippi, all right, there was a water crisis. So Jake went weeks without water. A first world privilege. Jake went weeks without water. During that winter vortex, was that 2021? All right? Jake and Jackson went weeks without electricity, without water, electricity. The average Jake don't think about getting no generator. The average Jake don't think, okay, when I get my income taxes, I'm gonna get a generator. I know during Hurricane Katrina, everybody named Mama was grilling, because mind you, I'm from Jackson. That's 3 hours north of New Orleans, like 2.5 hours north of New Orleans. But we were still affected. Jake went weeks without electricity. We were fortunate to have a gas stove, and that allowed us to cook food. But Jake wasn't thinking about electricity. But one thing I did remember, and then one of my neighbors who was an Edomite, they had a generator running. See, Jake went up on that. They had a generator running. So they ran their house as usual. You see? So Jake don't think, all right, when I get my taxes, all right, I'm gonna save money, put a little money back, give me a generator. Because you got to be able to run your house. Especially you got little ones, man. You got grandma, you got you know what I'm saying? Everybody got their grandma, uncle, or somebody sick, elderly. We got little ones. You got to be able to run your household without that grid, man. You know? Kerosene lamps, candles. But a 500 generator, man, it'll take you places. And even, you know, now that's on the grid. That's as long as you're on the grid. You got that generator, right? But let's say you get off the grid. You're a backpacker, all right? It wouldn't hurt to have a solar powered generator, right? It might be 300 watts. It might be 500 watts. Might be 1,000 watts, and you got it in your book bag. And you might also have foldable panels to recharge it. So now, if you got tents, let's say it's you and 3 brothers, all right? Or you and your wife and your kids, right? Y'all got the generator, right? The solar power generator with the panels, all right? And y'all got a tent, all right? So you can usually fit like 4 people in a tent. But the solar power generator will at least keep you plugged in with technology, all right? It'll if you maybe have a little stove, all right? Now I'm gonna tell you about these little stoves. You can get a propane stove because electrical stoves are high wattage. You get you an electrical stove, you know? I'm sorry, a propane stove. They come with the propane tank, all right? So of course you're gonna have things in your bug out backpack that allow you to make fire, but you always want to have an alternative. So like I said, you got your tent. In your tent, you have a foldable pallet to make it a little more comfortable. You got your sleeping bag. You might have a hobo stove or some type of skillet. All right. You have food in your book bag, but you also have, like I said, that solar power generator. That's like when if you have a solar power generator off the grid, it's as though you're on the grid, off the grid. All right. And like I said, the higher the wattage, the more stuff you can power, it's just gonna be more expensive. All right. But usually with something like 300 watts, you can plug in all your electrical appliances like cell phones, tablets, and stuff like that. But the higher wattage things, which are more expensive, but they power maybe like a freeze, like a running freezer, you know? But of course, you probably won't need a freezer off the grid, but you see what I'm saying? The higher the wattage, the more things you can power, you see? So that is something to have in mind if you're off the grid, man. Oh, y'all go off the grid. Or you already might have camping stuff available for you, so you can get a higher wattage solar power generator and power up actual appliances like a little stove or a little freezer, you know, because unless you grew up hunting and fishing, you're not gonna learn overnight, or you're not gonna catch anything overnight. So you already want to have a little mini civilization. We did this before. All right, King David camped, all right, outside of his palace. All right. Gad, Reuben, they always camped. That's why they came over here as pilgrims. Like they were actually like pilgrims, you see? They were nomadic over here, you see? That's the nature of being on earth anyway. You have a lot of nomadic cultures, all right? So I hope this is making sense that this right here is not real anyway. This electrical stuff it's not consistent with the earth. All right. All right. But the point is, and I'm cold as hell. That's why my hands are cold. That's why I'm stuttering. But the point is, you should be able to have a life or have some type of way of managing your existence when a power grid goes off, whether it's some emergency or it's the real thing. Like I said, we don't know exactly per brother how it's gonna play out. But like I said, if you got you a small solar power unit for portable use, or if you got a small solar power generator for portable use, but also if when you're stationary and let's say there's some emergency, you got you an actual generator that can keep everything running. You know what I mean? All right. Part of the reason why we're subject to payments and we're subject to these jobs that we work, part of the reason why that is because we only know how to live on a grid. So if you only know how to live on a grid, then you're going to work these jobs, allow yourself to be a human tool, which is what we're doing, myself included. You allow yourself to be a human tool, all right, just to pay these bills. All right, just to pay a cell phone bill, just to pay an internet bill, just to pay for food at a grocery store. But the Most High gave us the planet Earth. All that's already here is in the planet Earth. So that's why I've been thinking about like manhood, because real men take the planet Earth and turn it to a civilization for his people, turn it to a place of habitation for his people and himself. All right, but like I said, I hope this live stream was beneficial. I hope it puts you in the mindset of maybe, start window shopping or start shopping, for researching certain generators, solar power units, things within your budget. If you can't afford it, it's okay, because the Most High gonna protect us anyway. All right, but if you can't afford it, if it's within your budget, hey, it's something to consider. There's no pressure, just something to consider. But with that, I do hope you brothers and sisters were edified. Once again, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh by Shema Shah by Shon Kahakodash. I also want to give double honor to our elder apostles and elder bishops, a great millstone, Ruel. Peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. Abba Babal, Kam Yashala, Shalom.